Welcome back to another episode of Excalibur CCG TV's Talking Comics. We're your hosts. I'm Randy.
I am Mark.
And we are here to talk about the new books that will be on the shelf Wednesday, July 11th, 2018.
Yes.
Almost lost it there.
Made it through the fourth.
Made it through. Hope you guys had a great fourth. Everybody was safe. We did not have any loss of limbs.
or eyes or anything like that.
Anything else. We luckily got a little bit of rain that probably wetted things down just enough to not want to cause a fire around here. Who knows? If you have not made it to our store before, let me help you out. You can find directions. You can find a phone number by going to our website, ExcaliburCCG.com, or going to our website, or our Facebook page, and looking up information for that. You can find the two locations, the one where you will find Mark and myself here in Shreveport, Louisiana, or where you can find Chase and Dell and Ron, and I don't know who else,
whoever else
makes appearances up there in the Texarkana, Texas location. We are still talking about GeekCon.
Creeping up slowly but surely.
Yes, dates.
August 17th through the 19th. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
That's right. And the only tickets you will find at the store, at our store here, not Texarkana location, just us, are going to be the Saturday tickets for $20 and the weekend passes for $25.
That's it. We don't have any VIP stuff. We don't have anything else. That's the only two we have.
Yeah. Friday, Sunday, anything else you want to ask for, we're specifically telling you what we have. You can go to GeekCon's website, geekcon.com, or you can go to their Facebook page to see the assortment of guests that they have there, but know that there are going to be comic book guests, so you need to get your list together of what you want to buy from the store here to have them sign.
Exactly.
If you don't have something from them already. If you do have something from them already, get something else. That's the way I see it. Lots of number ones coming out this week. Two huge number ones. Huge number ones. And Mark is lucky enough to get to talk about those. So I'll let you start off with the first one.
We'll kick it off with the biggie from Marvel Comics, Amazing Spider-Man number 1. This is Nick Spencer writing and Ryan Ottley on art, formerly of Invincible.
Yeah, and the big reason why this is such a big number 1 is Dan Slott, who has written it for how long? Is
long time.
The Spider-Man writer. So.
Yep. Although he is coming back for a Spider-Geddon thing, I think.
Okay.
But yep, Nick Spencer coming on board here. And he's already had a little tidbit of what's going on in the Free Comic Book Day issue, if any of y'all picked that up, hopefully.
Okay.
Kind of a precursor to things that are going on in Peter's private life, civilian life. An alien invasion hits New York City, and the only one who can stop it is Spider-Man. But that's far from all you'll find here. A revelation from the past puts Peter Parker's job, relationships, and whole life in jeopardy. And if even that's not enough, you'll see a new roommate, who they showed in the Free Comic Book Day issue, new love interests, and a new villain. And a new beeping.
Put it somewhere else where maybe I will.
So, yep, big things.
Cool. And speaking of longtime Image creators jumping over and doing something new, Choose Rob Guillory is putting out a new book this week from Image Comics. It's called Farmhand. It's the first issue, obviously, with it being a new book. He is the writer and the artist for the book. Jedediah Jenkins is a farmer, but his cash crop isn't corn or soy. Jed grows fast-healing, plug-and-play human organs. Lose a finger, need a new liver, he's got you covered. Unfortunately, strange produce isn't the only thing Jed's got buried. Deep in the soil of the Jenkins family farm, something dark has taken root, and it's beginning to bloom. So,
Rob's got a thing for body parts.
Yes, it looks like a weird book, which Chew was a weird book.
Yeah.
Rob's art fits weird, very much so.
Very much.
He is a Louisiana native here, so it's one of those things. Pick this up, and I'm sure there's going to be a show around somewhere in Louisiana that you can find Rob to get him to sign it.
Absolutely. Next up for me is from IDW and Top Shelf. That is.
Top
Is that-
Shelf, it was its own company
Uh-huh.
a while ago, and IDW bought it.
Bought it.
So,
Okay. So, all right. This is the last chapter of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. This is Tempest #1 from Alan Moore and Kevin O'Neill, of course.
supposedly they're retiring after this series.
Not doing comics anymore after this, so we'll see. Opening simultaneously in the panic-stricken headquarters of British military intelligence, the fabled Aisha's lost African city of Kor, and the domed citadel of We. That's W-E. On the devastated Earth of the year 2996, the dense yet furiously paced narrative hurtles like an express locomotive across the fictional globe. This is all literally and literarily the story to end all stories. Here's how it begins. This is literally and literarily the story to end all stories. Here's how it begins. Why did they do that twice?
No, I don't know.
That's bizarre. Okay, but anyway, so this is like the last chapter.
So everything else is dealt with famous literary characters,
Mm-hmm.
and going to 2996.
Yeah,
I
we're
don't
not
know
gonna
if we're
have
going to
that.
be able to do that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who the main lineup is in this.
Unless they brought people from the past into the future. So
Into
I
the
don't
future.
know. I guess that's
Maybe there's a whole line of books out there about people in the future, and he's going to use them. I
from
don't
specifically the year 2996. That's the thing I'm
Exactly.
worried about.
know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to go. We'll find out next week.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be a very long read knowing Alan Moore's
Yeah.
work there.
Yeah.
From Alterna Comics. This is they're taking a break from their 4-issue and 3-issue series to give us a 2-issue series. Metaphase #1. This is Chip Reese and Kelly Williams, and I believe Kelly Williams. The name sounds familiar. Did he have something to do with the Hero Cats? I don't know.
I don't know.
This
Never read Hero Cats.
apparently the groundbreaking graphic novel by the same name makes its single issue debut. Ollie, a boy with Down syndrome, wants to be just like his superhero dad. Unfortunately for Ollie, his father doesn't want him to get in harm's way. Enter Metamakers, a company that gives people superpowers, but at what costs?
Okay.
So, somewhere out there's a graphic novel for that.
I think it's most of those Alterna books have been online. They're digital first, and then they're doing them in print. So
So it could have been like a full-length graphic novel that was online.
it could be.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it could be.
I did not know.
I just remember reading that somewhere.
And that's
about them being digital first.
Right. The great thing with Alterna is they are always cheaper.
Yes.
They put it on the cheaper paper so that you can get a good story for less.
Speaking of changing, DC's changing their paper.
I saw that going to the mat.
Yep.
In fact, Catwoman was
I
the
like
first
that.
one
Yeah.
that did that, and it was noticeable.
I like the color on that better. I think it looks so much better on that than the glossy.
I think that was always like a discussion too. Was like if some heathen were to take a comic book to their bathroom, that the light did not reflect off of the mat as it did. This was a conversation I remember from years ago from the comic shop.
There's been some doozies here.
So I don't remember who it was, but I remember that coming up.
Oh my goodness. All right.
The stank.
The stank. All right, so over to Image Comics for me. This is Outpost Zero #1. I'm Sean McKeever, and my name for the week, Alexander Tefinki.
Why not?
Okay, that came out easier
I
than I
think
thought.
you got that right.
Welcome to Outpost Zero, the smallest town in the universe. The people there work the land, go to the fights every Friday night, and tuck their children into bed, but the outpost is no place for dreams or aspirations. To survive is ambitious enough. As Aaliyah and her friends graduate to adulthood, okay, on a frozen world never meant to support human life, something stirs, something sees. ...
Okay. And I guess that's an ongoing series
I
for
guess
now.
so, for now.
Sean McKeever.
Sean McKeever.
Isn't there Ted McKeever?
Yes.
Okay, he's the one that does the really zany art. Ted McKeever.
Yes.
McKeever supposedly retired and now is not retired. But Sean McKeever. He wrote Sentinel for Marvel about the little boy who finds the Sentinel.
Okay.
I think that was Sean McKeever who did
Okay.
that one. I know the name. It's just
Yeah, I remember associating that with Marvel.
from Boom Studios. We're actually going all over the
We
place.
are.
With,
We're all over the map today.
this, so that's pretty awesome. We
It
have
is.
5-issue series. First issue, Ruin World. Ruin World. I guess I like to say ruin instead of ruin. Ruin.
Ruin World.
The writer, artist, and cover artist, so I have 2 of them that have done everything for the book, is Derek Loffman. This is about the intrepid adventurers Pogo and Rex, who are on a quest for fame and fortune. They've discovered a special map that leads them on their epic journey through dangers, demons, and old enemies. They're old enemies, or just enemies that are old, or
Who knows?
I don't know.
We'll find. Maybe
But the problem is that they've already lost the map. So
that's an all ages book as well. So
it just sounds like it's, I don't know. I've heard the name Rune World from something before.
it's been something. I don't know if it was a game or an app or a book, or a series of books or something.
And
I'm not
usually
sure.
with the things they'll tell you, it's from the
Well,
famous game or whatever.
Well, they probably did. I cut a lot of that stuff out to save paper,
Okay.
to be honest. So it may
that
have been
works.
in there.
So it's probably from something because it sounds familiar.
I'm sure. Yeah, I remember seeing it was from something. I just can't remember
Okay.
what it was. All right, the other huge one this week coming up, Superman #1 from DC Comics. Brian Michael Bendis, his debut, sort of, on Superman monthly series.
Right.
This is continuing out of his Man of Steel weekly miniseries, and now he's on like the main title, #1
For the next 10 years.
for the next 10 years. Joe Prado, cover art, I think, and Ivan Reese on the interiors. The fallout from the Man of Steel miniseries has Clark Kent looking at the world through new eyes, with new ideas about what Superman could and should do for the city of Metropolis and the planet Earth. His first job, getting the planet back out of the Phantom Zone. So I guess something happened. I haven't read Man of Steel yet, so
Yeah, I totally missed that. He's got special eyes.
he's got new eyes.
New eyes. This one's actually a pretty big one here from Marvel Comics. X-23 #1. I believe Mariko Tamaki wrote previous run. Maybe it's a very similar name. But One Cabal is the artist that joins her. He, I believe, was the artist on Cable.
Yes. That sounds
for some point there
Yeah.
on Cable, and beautiful Mike Choi covers. Choi, Koi,
Choi, Chow.
Chow, Cho. That's a holdover from Chris Hunter, guys.
Yes.
Clone from a warrior, raised as a killer, Laura Kinney. And when I was reading this earlier, I totally read it as Kidney. Like, that's a unique name. Laura Kinney has gone through hell and come out as the other side as a hero. After a stint as the all-new Wolverine, she returns to her roots as X-23 to make sure no one ever has to go through the horrors she did. This time, though, she is bringing along her sister Gabby and their pet Jonathan. He is Wolverine. I was going to say Wombat, but Wolverine. That would be awesome if he was a Wombat. And she's going to forge her own destiny in this new series. I love Gabby. That's a great character that they've, they weren't able to bring about all these feelings and emotions and whatnot with her character, since she was very rough and everything. And Gabby's just kind of silly, and they've had some great. I'm not a Deadpool fan, but they've had some great scenes that Greg Pak, I think, wrote. No. Taylor, who did the Injustice, Tom Taylor wrote that she connected with Deadpool, and it worked. So
speaking of not liking Deadpool, I haven't liked Deadpool in a long time. The last time I really read Deadpool on a regular basis was the Joe Kelly run.
Joe Kelly, right?
But I really liked the first 2 issues of the Scotty Young one.
Scotty Young has a knack for
It feels a lot like that
the older.
Joe Kelly kind
Right.
of stuff, and I like the first 2 issues of it.
Yeah, there's a difference. They've had some very distinct different writers. Daniel Way had his that was much, I think Way was one of the first ones that within the comic broke the fourth wall, because Kelly would do it on the cover,
Right.
and and now he does it all the time. But yeah, I could definitely see just the style of writing I've read before with Scotty Young.
It was fun.
harkening back.
It was fun stuff. It was funny without being like forceful.
Right.
I liked it. Liked it a lot.
Cool. All right, those are the number ones, and there are a lot of them. There are probably some other ones we didn't cover because we kind of highlight
The main stuff.
the main stuff,
Yeah.
the big ones that will be getting in the store. And if you want to hear about other ones, let's pre-order some of those so we can talk about them.
Right.
But, when we get one copy of something, it's
Not much sense in talking about it and tell you to come in and pick it up.
Right. Yeah, because it's probably already sold out somewhere because it was a low print run, and wah, wah.
Yeah.
So now we're going to move on to our section where we talk about the old and the new. And Mark, I'll let you start off,
Okay.
because it was only a matter of time before it happened.
Yes, this had to happen. I cannot do a back issue series.
Sure. Try not to snicker.
Yes, without the giant size man thing. This is number 3. This was one of my favorite books when I was a kid.
Awesome cover.
Yeah, it's a Gil Kane cover, very good. Interior art, Alfred Alcala, and Jerry Conway writing the story. This was a really cool story. This had basically everything I loved when I was a kid. It had dragons, it had Vikings, it had wizards, and it was basically the Man-Thing steps through this portal into a fantasy type world, and he helps this warrior out in here that's a kind of a Conan guy. But just a really, really fun story. It takes up a good chunk of the book. It's a long story, but big fantasy adventure story with a swamp monster right in the middle of it. And at the end, there's a couple of Atlas era like horror reprints. So these were, man, for 50 cents back in the day. I mean, these were the giant sized books were just awesome. Love these things.
Now,
Quarterly books they used to be.
the condition of the book isn't great, but
No, it's not.
$3.99. You can't
$3.99,
beat,
and you
getting
get a
a good-
fun fantasy story. It's just it's good stuff.
Right. Absolutely. For me, I read it, I've seen the reviews, I've read it, and I have to agree with the reviews. Captain America #1 came out this last week, and actually this is the cover I picked up because Alex Ross. You can't go, I mean,
Alex Ross, it's a
gives
wraparound.
you a wraparound cover. He goes through and has some of the most iconic characters there, villains of Captain America's. And the thing I liked about this is what Mark Waid couldn't give us with his run. Mark Waid he's had one good run
Yeah,
on Captain America.
yeah,
And for the talent that Mark Waid is, his Cap stuff is just kind of yawn so-so. Ta-Nehisi Coates, he takes, and it is Cap trying to figure out, I for so long have fought for the American dream, and is the American dream still around? Is kind of what he's questioning, and he comes to a conclusion. It's not that we allowed Hydra to take us over, but we did this to ourselves. Was kind of the thing. We've lost what the dream is. We don't. We've gone so far away from it. It's one of those things that they at one point talk about Baron Strucker being praised for helping defeat some Hydra agents at one point in time, It's like, yeah, Strucker's done this one time, but how much other evil stuff has he done there?
Right.
But it's just Cap really wanting to try to find that dream again that works so well with this. You've got Bucky in the story. The big thing that throws me off is, I guess, something happened with Thaddeus Ross at some point where he was considered a war criminal. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
But he's back as a general, leading some sort of task force. And I mean, there's no signs that there's Red Hulk or anything going on with, because was he not the Red Hulk? Thunderbolt Ross?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he just seems like old man with the gray mustache and everything.
Okay.
So if they've gotten rid of that, I won't miss that.
No.
The thing that's kind of there are a few slight disappointments there. Used art is not the most dynamic thing for this type of story, and Coates is still going with the older Sharon Carter from Dimension Z, and I wish that they would have somehow just reversed that and gotten rid of that part.
Give it time.
Yeah, but it seems like he's tying it in for something that's very relevant for the story there. So he has done a very good job. One of the big criticisms I heard from the Black Panther run was that it was a lot of monologuing.
Yeah.
And that's not the case with this. There's a good pace to it, good action, and Captain America is reflecting throughout it, but it's not something that is the words are taking up the space of the picture. So it had a very good pace to it. So.
Okay. Well, cool. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I will say with the Marvel relaunches, I have really, the ones that I've read, I've really liked. Except for Thor.
Yeah.
I just don't like Jason Aaron on Thor. I've given him chances time and time again. I don't care for the way he writes character.
I can see that, but yeah, Cebulski, I think maybe helps draw out.
Well, yeah,
the best in some of these guys.
And I know Quesada's been having a lot more hands-on there, and he was editor-in-chief during a pretty good time at Marvel. So
yeah, so a lot of people were very concerned with. Coates political, but that doesn't really seem to have affected. Will it down the line? I don't know. But for this first issue, it has not affected anything with the story. In fact, I think they've given us the best Captain America issue since Brubaker was writing.
Wow.
It's been a long time since I've read a good Cap issue.
Okay.
So, 2 big thumbs up there for it. So,
awesome.
In the comments below, go ahead and remember to talk to us about your number ones that you're looking forward to. With these, are you going to be picking up Bendis Superman? Tell us what you think, because Nick Spencer, that's a huge change for Marvel at this point in time to have someone else on the main Amazing Spider-Man book.
It's one of their flagship books. Yeah.
Absolutely, and tell us, have you read Giant Size Man Thing #3? Have you read Captain America? You can't say it without snickering.
Can't.
Have you read Captain America #1 yet? What did you think of it? Tell us about the other books that you read this week, because there were some big ones with Batman and the Catwoman.
What did you think of the wedding?
The wedding, absolutely. So just do that. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Just spread the word about our video to others. And anything else to add? No. It's lunchtime for me.
I'm just hoping our power stays on.
Yeah. And World Cup action. Hope you guys have been watching and enjoying it, because they have had some great games there. So get on that, because it's the American thing to do. Soldier.
Well, America's not in there, but find a team to root for.
No, but come on. America's built from people that have come from all over.
Sure.
And so it's also just watching great football with that. And that's right, I said football. Football. So do that. Do everything else we've asked of you. And until next time, read great comics. We'll see you next week. Bye.